Speaking of Joe Rogan, have you mentioned this? Oh, yeah.
Vaccine.
I was informed last night that this tweet is fake. The show was already out, so we initially decided to post a notice saying we got tricked, then later thought it best just to delete it from the episode. My sincere apologies to everyone, especially the person who got hoaxed. Frizzle McDizzle. Joe Rogan reacts to a doctor's insane tweet with Brett Weinstein and how we should treat each other with post-mass formation psychosis. Apparently, this fucking tweet drew so much ire from Joe Rogan stans that they were like fucking destroying this guy or this lady. Sorry. So I will never regret the vaccine, even if it turns out I injected actual poison and have only days to live. My heart was in the right place. I got vaccinated out of love, while anti-vaxxers did everything out of hate. If I had to die because of my love for the world, then so be it. But I will never regret or apologize for it.
If it turns out I injected actual poison and have only days to live, my heart.
It's just interesting, man. Joe Rogan keeps finding himself as like one of the main guys on the internet that is like super famous, has massive reach. He just keeps finding himself owned over and over again.
Heart was in the right place. I got vaccinated out of love, while anti-vaxxers did everything out of hate. If I have to die because of my love for the world, then so be it. But I will never regret or apologize for it. It's a fascinating perspective. And it's also a fascinating perspective that this person claims to be about love, but has the most uncharitable view of.
Jamie really got to be helping him out more, dude. Pulled that shit up. University has been slacking lately, okay? Maybe he's like worried that he can't get fucking, enough play or something. I don't know what it is, but like he really, really, really needs to fucking. He really needs to be like, bro, this is not real.
People who didn't get vaccinated. That everyone got anti-vax out of hate. The idea that I didn't get vaccinated out of hate, I find so ridiculous. Like, I don't hate anyone. I am a loving person. I do it on purpose. I go out of my
No, you didn't get vaccinated because you're a dumbass, bro. Like
way to be as charitable and as kind as possible. And when I don't, I feel very disappointed in myself. If I make any decision or a statement that I feel like doesn't align with that, maybe flippantly in the moment, maybe joking around, I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm very self-critical. When I see something like that, I'm like, that is ideological capture at its highest level. Because put that back up again. So what you're seeing, one of the things that she's realizing here is that there is a narrative. And one of the narratives is the vaccine might be bad for you. So she's saying, even if it turns out
He said, Jamie, pull that shit up again. He said, Jamie, pull that shit up again, dude.
I'm doing this fucking podcast.
Pull that shit up again, Jamie. I'm not done with that. Give it to me.
Injected actual poison. The idea that you wouldn't be upset that you were duped into injecting actual poison when you were thinking that this was somehow going to save people and save the world is so insane that wouldn't bother you. But you are uncharitably categorizing all people who are hesitant in getting an experimental medical intervention that's never been tried on mass amounts of human beings in human history, and that there's no long-term data to suggest anything.
I mean, that's literally, like, you're just describing, again, every vaccine and most medicine, okay? But especially vaccines. Not only that, but you also took ivermectin, dog. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, he's like, no, the only time we can fucking take medicine is if it's like, if it's demonstrably worked on animals for other shit, okay? And human beings for, like, human beings as a dewormer, okay? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. No, dude, you don't understand. I'm injecting myself with insulin right now. What? I have cancer, but I'm injecting myself with insulin. I don't want to take any shit that's not tried yet. You know what I'm saying? The fuck? No. You don't understand. I'm also taking ibuprofen on the side too. You know, this shit's gonna be fucking good. I do that kind of regularly. Oh, insulin dependent.
Safety, dangers, risks, and also if she's a doctor, a medical doctor, she should know about the VAERS system. And she should know that although there are people that report things that turn out to not be correct, there's a very low number of vaccine injuries that get reported in respect to the actual number of
Where did you get that from? Where? You can't bring up the VAERS system, talk about how the VAERS system is self-reported, so it's like very clearly susceptible to people fucking lying, and then make up a lie on the spot about how, like, oh, dude, so many people like don't even report it, even though a lot of the reports are just fucking fake. You know, they say like Harry Potter got a vaccine injury, but also like there's so much more that's not reported.
Vaccine injuries that take place, and in
like there's evidence that women, okay, tell the truth in many instances about sexual assault that goes unnoticed. There's evidence for it. There's empirical evidence. There's also a lack of adequate care, like the rape kit backlogs and whatnot. Okay, so there is truly evidence to say, yes, sure, women sometimes lie, but the amount of women that don't lie and get overlooked or get fucked over by the system is significantly higher. There's empirical evidence for that. Joe Rogan looks at that and goes, I don't believe that. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, there is no evidence for the idea that like there are more people that get vaccine injured and don't actually report it to VAERS. That there's no evidence for that whatsoever. He just made it up, or he read it in a Facebook post or something.
In the past, that number has been estimated with previous diseases to be in the neighborhood of 1%. So for every 100 people that has a vaccine injury, one of them gets reported into the VAERS system. I don't know what the number is with SARS, CoV-2. I don't think anyone knows, because we hear stories. I mean, it's so anecdotal. I hesitate to even discuss it. You know, oh, I know this guy and he had a stroke, and they knew it because of the vaccine, but the doctors wouldn't put that in the VAERS system, and they were.
Dude, what the fuck? This is crazy. He's like, yeah, dude, the doctors all are like, we gotta hide the truth. We gotta hide the truth, man. We all gotta universally get together. Like a buddy of mine, he got a stroke, and the doctors were like, "Oh, it's definitely from the vaccine that you took, but we're gonna hide it. We're gonna engage in malpractice that is like that you can easily get fucking sued for." Like, what the hell? What the hell are you saying? What the fuck? It's just, yeah, dude, everyone is in on this conspiracy, but like, of course, the government's in on it too. Talking about uncharitable interpretations not 5 minutes ago, by the way. Apparently, you know Joe. Wait, you think I'm being uncharitable to what Joe Rogan is saying here? Brother, there is no charitability. He is lost in the fucking sauce. It's like trying to listen to, someone having a schizophrenic attack. Okay? And trying to make sense of it. Oh, Joe, not you? No, I think that person was talking about Joe. Well, maybe I misunderstood. It's just, Joe Rogan has been owned so many fucking times about spreading fake news, especially as it pertains to this issue, specifically because, like, he is so motivated. He is so motivated to, like, say that he's right. So he'll believe anything and everything. There is no It doesn't matter how ridiculous it seems, right? He's just like, no, I believe it. I fucking believe it. Like a buddy of mine. There's a couple issues where he will believe anything, no matter how insane it sounds. And then he'll be like, it sounds insane, right? And it's like, that's the moment where you should go, nah, dog, like it does sound insane because it's not real. Okay? Like anything that's related to trans people being crazy and strange, Joe's like, yeah, a buddy of mine actually experienced that. And vaccines are the other one.
Refuse to put it in the VAERS system. You hear about all these stories. And then you hear about financial incentives that were in place to not just say that someone died from COVID, but that different financial incentives were in place to use certain protocols, medical protocols and treatments. So they were financially incentivized to use certain things, certain medications. And then if the person was treated, if the person was ventilated, there's more financial incentives. Remdesivir, there's different things.
That's how you know. Wait, by the way, Austin, that is actually what do you call it? That is actually really a good take. Why is he still obsessed with COVID? Isn't this shit over? Austin, you are 100% correct. In the eyes of the Norman population, most people have like moved beyond COVID, okay? The people who took all the precautions, people who took vaccines, the people who like fucking mask wore in public and all that stuff, like I'm not talking about COVID being over. It's clearly not. People still have COVID, okay? People are still getting COVID. But in the eyes of like the American population and the population across the planet for the most part, people are like living in a post-COVID world, right? It's only people like Joe Rogan who are like obsessed, hyper obsessed still, that still fucking constantly talk about COVID. I'm not saying COVID is over, for the record. Please, everybody stop jumping down my fucking throat, okay? It's not over, but it's forgotten. Okay, so someone like Joseph Robinette Rogan still talking about it like this every day, having Brett Weinstein on to talk about it, like it's obvious. It's obvious that he's like still hyper obsessed. This kind of shit, for the most part, by the way, is weird to the Norman audience too. I wouldn't be surprised if plenty of his audience members are literally watching this going like, come on, dog, like nobody cares. You know what I mean? At this point, especially with respect to COVID, like due to everybody getting fucking COVID, okay, or everybody getting COVID and getting vaccinated, or just getting vaccinated and taking the necessary precautions early on, like the fatality rate of COVID has diminished. It has. You love speaking for everyone, lol, lol, lol. Bitch, walk outside right now. Count the motherfuckers with masks on. Count the motherfuckers who are doing social distancing. I live in the heart of Los Angeles. Okay? This is Liptard Central. Okay? The moment that I walk outside of my fucking house, back in the day, I used to see people with fucking masks on all the goddamn time. Now, it is incredibly rare to see a person wearing a mask. So, shut up. When I talk about like how normal, when I talk about like what people's like position is on COVID, people aren't talking about COVID. They're not talking about like COVID in the way that they were. I swear to God, I do the best at insulting people amount. I mean, it's probably not great. It is rare to see people wearing masks. That's anecdotal evidence? Okay, well, if we're going to talk about, first of all, yes, I don't know if there's any empirical evidence as to mask wearing. I'm sorry, okay? But, like, you're being delusional if you think that people, regardless of whether or not they're even fucking wearing masks somewhere, okay? But, like, if you think that people are constantly talking about COVID all the goddamn time, I don't know what to tell you. Look at an event. Look at a public event. Okay, never mind. There's also a poll on this matter. Fewer than half of Americans still wear face masks in public, poll finds, which is actually higher than I thought it was going to be. But still, incredibly, it's low. Tuesday's poll from the Associated Press National Opinion Research Center just found 44% of adult respondents still wear a mask often or always in public, a significant decline from the 65% of adults who said it in a January AP poll. And this is also literally from fucking when? March of this past year. From a year ago. If they did another poll on this right now, today, you would see genuinely a way lower percentage now. The wildest thing that I have seen that I thought maybe like Americans will learn from their mistakes was like maybe we would wear masks when we're sick. Nope. Oh, there's another one. Okay, there's another Ipsos poll from a month ago. And now it's most Americans not worrying about COVID going into the 2022 holidays. And mask wearing I feel like most people have moved on from the pandemic, but I haven't. On COVID-19, we're in a better place than we are a year ago. 86% of Americans. We'll never be fully rid of COVID in my lifetime. Okay, let's see mask wearing. Americans appear to be in a holding pattern on mask use, with many choosing not to wear them regularly when leaving home. That said, Americans report wearing masks in different rates depending on what they're doing out of their home. The share of Americans that report occasionally or never wearing a mask outside the home has been consistent, around 63%. But is significantly higher than during the height of Omicron mid-January at 27%. Roughly half report wearing masks at all times or sometimes when on a plane. Fewer report wearing masks at all times or sometimes when on public transportation. Finally, the lowest share of Americans report wearing masks at all times or sometimes in grocery stores, 33%, and when walking into a restaurant or dining indoors at 27%. There you go. There is empirical evidence on the matter. Are you happy? This is new. This is from September. Are you happy? Is that good? You fucking nerds. It's not anecdotal evidence. Well, in this circumstance, my anecdotal evidence actually corresponds to the empirical evidence, okay? Sounds like people just don't give a fuck. The same thought process that Joe on Many Hats is the jump. I guess it's nice you don't spread anti-vax shit, but just admit no one gives a fuck. Yeah, I am admitting that no one gives a fuck. I'm literally admitting that. But also, there's a reason to not give as much as a fuck now, which is still not the appropriate thing, but, we're human beings, versus when Joe Rogan was doing it at the peak of the fucking pandemic. And if you can't comprehend the difference between the two, when, pretty much every fucking American has either gotten COVID multiple times or at least once, and also on top of that have gotten vaccinated multiple times versus, a year ago when people didn't have 2 years ago when people didn't have fucking vaccines, people didn't have any sort of fucking, they were not taking any sort of measures whatsoever. I don't know what to tell you. It's like at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. You can take the fucking necessary measures to avoid it. Okay? At a certain point, you got to realize that at the top of the hour, the ad break is coming, and it's 3 minutes. And the methods to avoid it, the measures to avoid it are to subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account where you get one free Prime subscription a month, or by getting gifted a sub. Do I wear a mask still? No. What do you want me to do? Lie to you? No. Oh. Tamana, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Shishley, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Allowing 15 people no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Dude gets paid for shitting in his diaper and acts like he contributes to society. Wait, is this guy talking about me? For sitting in his diaper? I actually do a poopy in the morning, and I pee regularly on stream, but unfortunately, I'm away from the camera when I do that, which is why a lot of people turn around and yell and say that I'm never on stream. Ooh, I got a 9 on that one. Let's go. 571 chatters rated this ad segue. An average of 9.02 out of 10. Anyway, tell him where you come. In his mom, obviously. The good thing about the new variant is that the bivalent vaccines protect against the ones going rampant since they are made for the Omicron parent variant. Sounds like a bunch of science mumbo jumbo from someone with too much knowledge over public health. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, nerd. Ultimately, dude, there is I look at certain numbers, okay? And one of the numbers that I care about, and maybe this is being underreported now, but like one of the numbers I care about is COVID deaths. And if you're talking about the 7-day average of COVID deaths now in fucking LA County versus last year, it's literally, it's 20 deaths a day. And that is like at the peak of holiday season. Okay? Or not 20, 7-day average is 20 deaths. It is wild to me that motherfuckers are, acting like we're still at the worst fucking peak of the pandemic when there was like 200. By the way, I'm talking about LA. For the record, I just want to state that I am talking about Los Angeles County. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Jerry 1919 will be taken down temporarily by Joe's team to address something we discovered after its release. A tweet we discussed turns out not to be authentic, and there's no way to preserve that part while protecting the person who was being impersonated. 1919 will return soon. And that the funniest thing is, like, they will celebrate this and go, oh man. Saying mask doesn't reduce the chance of infection? No, it does. But there's a difference between like taking a fucking L on the infection when you're like quadruple fucking vaxxed and have gotten COVID versus taking an L on getting, or did I say vaccination? Taking an L on getting COVID when you're quadruple vaxxed plus you got fucking COVID once versus taking an L on the COVID, taking an L on COVID when you're not vaccinated and you haven't gotten COVID yet. No, you said infection. Okay. Anyway. Joe Rogan is a fucking buffoon, okay? shitting on vaccinating and shitting on vaccines is one of the most annoying fucking things you can do. Like, I've been incredibly frustrated about this. How many times have you had COVID? Once. The actual other scary part of COVID is long COVID. Okay? Long-term consequences of getting COVID, especially if you're not vaccinated, especially if you're not fucking protected. Holy shit. That is unironically infinitely more damaging than the potential vaccine injuries that Joe Rogan's talking about. Why is it annoying? Ever looked at how the long-term consequences of getting vaccinated? Dude, honestly, given the fact that in 2023 there are still so many of you motherfuckers that ask questions like this, sometimes I do hope it kills me, okay? Like, because I don't want to deal with motherfuckers like you. I don't want to be on the same planet with motherfuckers like you, okay? Holy shit. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, how many fucking years ahead of time is everyone going to die? When is the mass genocide going to take place, chatter? All you dumb motherfuckers literally base death threat. That's not even a death threat, you fucking idiot. How is that a death threat? It's literally me dying. I'm the one who's dying in that situation. From the fucking vaccine. And the funniest part is, like, so many of these people were like, oh, everyone's going to die in a year. Everyone's going to die. Okay, maybe 2 years. Oh my God, everyone's going to die in maybe 3 years. Oh my God, everyone's going to die maybe in 4 years, 5 years. They're just going to keep pushing it until no one dies and they just forget about it and move on to the next thing. Oh.
That there was financial incentives in private hospitals. So these are businesses, and these businesses run a lot of them. You know, it's a very precarious business.
Oh my God, he's still talking about it. Okay, I can't. I'm done with this. This entire thing is fake. Highlight of Rogan's 3.5 hour podcast with Brett Weinstein today was actually something Rogan said. Unlike the sheeple, Rogan is immune to bullshit because he has a podcast where he gets to talk to scientists like Robert Malone, Peter McCullough, and Brett Weinstein.
One of them. If I wasn't doing this fucking podcast, okay, if I was just a regular comedian and that's what I did for a living, and I didn't pay much attention to alternative media and podcasts that were discussing this, and people like Peter McCullough or Robert Malone,
Thank God he had brilliant scientists like Robert Malone on.
Or all these people that were sounding the alarm. If I was one of those people that didn't have the access to these kind of conversations, I would not have a nuanced perspective. And if I had gotten vaccinated and other people didn't, I would be like, fuck those people. I would be just like people I know who I used to be friends with, who now hate me and are angry at me and talk shit about me online. And I forgive them. Because I would have been like them if I didn't have the access to the kind of conversations that I've had, if I didn't have the kind of mindset that I have, that my personality that is just immune to bullshit. When bullshit hits me, I go, oh, I know what this is. I grew up without a dad, okay? I don't trust people. I think there's a lot of bullshit in the world. You know, I've had people try to do things.
I love this. This is the endless debate around skeptics who are incredibly skeptical of the narratives, right? The narratives like the common sense legislation or the things that like the scientific community sometimes arrives at a consensus on. Those are always things that you have to be skeptical of. But all the bullshit that I get from my Facebook feed that corresponds to my personal biases, I will never give a shred of skepticism to. And that is at the heart of every quote-unquote skeptic. These motherfuckers are never skeptical with the sides that they agree on. They're just never skeptical of anything that they see on their Facebook feed, but everything they see from scientists, there must be a vast conspiracy out there. It's like, how about you issue some of your skepticism lasers towards the fucking 1 pixel Facebook meme that your grandfather shared?